Tunji works as an advisor in Lagos, focused on, I think, matters of governance and much else besides, and he is a force. Tunji, you were here 10 years ago as well, and you see... so you've been part of the whole thread. What have you made of what's happened here this last few days?
Well, it's interesting because, you know, the last 10 years we were here, and on two levels, the sense I got then was in trying to tell our stories, our ideas, we weren't even sure if those ideas were worth sharing. There was a certain tentativeness about the stories we had to tell. And it showed in the way the actual TED event unfurled. There were two primary bookends that framed it for me. One was the battle of AIDS versus trade, with Bono stuck in there somewhere in the middle. And then the definition by George Aite in trying to frame Africa. You had the hippos. I thought it was a very useful animal analogy, but you know, this is Africa. So you have the hippos that represented a particular generation of old leadership, and you had the cheetahs, which was supposed to be young, enterprising, dynamic Africans. Well,
which were you, by the way?
I'm a hybrid, I'm a chimera.
Okay.
Half people and half cheetah. But you know, fast forward to now, you have a whole generation of cheetahs, and you've all, you know, had the benefit of being exposed to them. Oh, by the way, they're also digital cheetahs. So, you know, they are there. But it doesn't stop us from looking at the problems that we also have, as represented by perhaps the analog hippos. You know, this conference was designed to be about builders, truth sayers, and catalysts. There's been some very strident critique by Africans about Africa in the frame of reference that had to do with the truth telling. So we've come away from trying to be apologetic about our problems. We've come away with a very clear-eyed and sometimes very searing analysis of our problems. We know what the problems are. But the interesting thing for me has just been the fact that, you know, you have all of these digital cheetahs out there in the loose, outpacing and outrunning everybody else. So there has been that. At this point, we're not tentative about the ideas we want to share. We know we have ideas that are worth sharing, and we know those ideas are global. And so we're reversing the dynamic. The world has to listen to the innovation and the adaptiveness of Africa. I think that is what I'm taking from this.
It takes a real confidence to criticize confidently. I mean, it's, you know, there's a sort of a power in doing that, and it sounds like that's what you've seen this week.
Oh, absolutely, absolutely.
I mean, you personally, you know, you're very aware of all the challenges faced by the continent. Mm-hmm. Do you go away from this feeling daunted, energized? How has this impacted you personally?
Well, the truth about it, like I said, I'm a chimera, half hippo. So part of my sense of reality is grounded in this analog framing of our problems. But I've seen young people come and tell me that that is just part of the reality. One of the things that I think has happened, maybe subconsciously in the curating of this event, has been while we're talking at it from the top down, you know, builders, truth sayers, and catalysts, there's been also a linear overlay of talking about Africa's past, its present, and the future. And one thing that I've seen is something that has come to frame my understanding of Africa, and it's a very unique thing about Africa, and that is where, although we have problems, we also have possibilities. Africa lives in a time warp. Africa lives not within this relative time warp of you know, space and time, but it lives in a conflated time warp. So what you have in Africa is that we're simultaneously living our lives in the past. Everybody here made references to their ancestral homes. To the present, we're presenting our story. We're not apologizing about it. And the future. And if you ever wanted proof of that, on the future side, we had two just absolutely mind-blowing performances by Nedi and Osh. There you had science fiction, and you also had science fact. And both at the very bleeding edge of knowledge. So, you know, nobody's apologizing about that. But we also have the restatement of some of the problems of the past that are impinging on the present. So it's a very interesting time. I'm not as pessimistic as I was coming in, because I know that in spite of the fact that there are challenges, right? Yeah. We're going to just take them all out in one fell swoop across that linear time frame.
Oh, that's super insightful. Certainly, as an outsider coming in,
Yes.
feeling that embracing of Africa's past and the pride in it and the consequences from that has been really exciting to see. Tunji, thank you so much for your
You're very
insights
welcome.
and for all you've done for TED Global. Thank you.